Yeah, jumping numbers last week. Today we're going to do some rejuvenation therapy, and you're going to love it. And I think, Nick, next week you were going to run something, weren't you? And then we were going to do.
Yeah, I think we're doing the authentic self hypnosis process next week, which is I think you guys are going to enjoy.
Because I'm actually in Dublin. I'll join, but I think you're going to do most of it anyway. So just in case I get kidnapped by the leprechauns or something, I just
Yeah, we'll look after you, Freddie.
or overcome by the Guinness one way or another.
Yeah, well,
I'm doing my utmost to be here, but you know, I see. I'm just letting everybody in. Delane, nice to see you. And Doreen. Delane and Doreen, quite close.
Hi.
Jackie made it on. Hi, Jackie.
And in the week after, we're going to do a creating the body health and happiness. So these next 3 weeks are going to run in one into the other. Today, we're going to show you how to use your mind to rejuvenate. And then Nick's going to show you the week after how to tap into your authentic self. And then the week after that, creating the body health and happiness. So we put all these 3 things together. So by the time the summer's truly here, you're going to feel incredible. Imagine that's going to happen and there's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing at all. Bitus, welcome. We got some new faces on today. I'm excited. Good.
Great to see you.
I think it was the anti-aging idea. I think a lot of people are into it, Freddie.
Well, a lot of people are responding to the Facebook group that we do. So if you're not already part of the Facebook group, have a look and join us, the Ministry of the Mind, and you'll get all our messages. So
while we're waiting, we'll wait a few minutes, but I want to go over this metaphor so I'm here in my friend's house in North Carolina, and he bought a 12,000 square foot, 100-year-old school. And so when he bought it, it was, run down, and there were desks and there were little classrooms, and, the urinals were on the ground basically for the short people. And he has over time used the structures that are in place, and he has repurposed them, and he has renovated them, and he's put, tile and granite and some really cool fixtures and redone the wood floors and taken out walls. And it's now an incredible, really cool place to be. Like right now, I think this was an old classroom, and next door was the principal's office. And so, and while I was going through this, I thought about, we all have ideas and structures and subconscious programs from our childhood, right? From 100 years ago. And what happens is they run out of their useful life and they become irrelevant, archaic. And over time, we can repurpose what's in there and we can reutilize it. And we can turn that into a really cool, productive set of neural networks and a set of programs, just like this schoolhouse has been renovated. So that's kind of an idea of what we do every week is we're taking what's already there, what's the potential in your mind, and we're repurposing it. We're cleaning it up and we're turning it into something that creates the life, the body, the emotions that you want. And so today, we're just, as in every week, we're going to be utilizing the structures and the neural networks and the power of your mind that's already there to change your experience and to feel younger and to look younger and to be a younger person. And so we're going to go over, I'm a little delusional in this area, and I totally love being delusional. And so I'm going to pass some of that on to you. You can be delightfully delusional with me, and it's going to be a fun process. So I think, we still got people logging in here, Freddie.
Yeah, we'll just go for a little bit longer and just wait, give them a few more moments. Oh. But when we start running our the retreats that Nick and I have planned in some beautiful locations, we haven't actually made up our minds where it's going to be there, but where we're going to take a beautiful house, invite some of you along, for a week with us or a weekend with us, you know, my thinking is along Nick's lines is that when you come to those retreats, my thinking is like this: when it comes to our life, imagine your perfect house, your dream house, and we're going to build that house. So imagine we find a plot of land. It's been there for thousands of years. And like most plots of land that haven't been built on, there's tree stumps and there's rocks and there's rubbish that's gathered in there, blown there by the wind. And so the first thing we do is clear that plot, clear the ground, take out all of the rubbish that's there, the limiting beliefs, the negative thoughts, you know, the fears and anxieties. So we have a beautiful, clear plot to work on. So that's the first stage of, in my mind, self-development, clearing out all the stuff that's gathered there over the years. So now we've got a clear place to work on. And then we've got to put the foundations in. And the foundations are things like confidence and self-belief and self-esteem and unconditional self-love. So once we've got those foundations in, and you are now in that space of feeling into that, and you know you've got those strong foundations, you know, your authentic self, as Nick was saying, and we know, you know, we've got those foundations in, then we can start to build that property. And they're things like the things that bring, you know, the things that are going to keep you safe, that self-belief and goals and setting goals and plans and all those things. And once we've got those walls up and we've got the structure built, then we can look at the things that bring you pleasure, you know, the internal interior design, if you like, things like joy and love and happiness and, you know, your financial things. So that's how I see in my mind building the perfect kind of self-development kind of plan. So at some point, you know, looking at yourself in that way, think about your perfect life, where you'd love to be, how you'd love to be. You know, obviously it's never a straight line, is it? You know, it's we have our plans and then someone comes along, bumps you off the path for a while. But if we know exactly where we're going to go and we have people to guide us, and most of you now, I've seen you for so long, most of you have great skills. It's just applying those skills to yourselves. It's not easy. We have to keep reminding ourselves, keep doing it. It's not so we do it once and then it's some kind of maintenance we have to take care of, but it's keeping in mind exactly where you want to be and knowing what you want to do. So anyway, that's a little thing I was talking about when Nick was saying about his friend's house there and how he's repurposing. The structure's there. It's just about how you're going to repurpose everything else around it. So anyway, I think everyone's here.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So I've actually never taught this, and I think, Freddie, you've got your own protocol here that you've done. This is just something that I've done for myself, and I believe in it, and I think it's working. And so this is the hypnotic fountain of youth that we're going to go over, and how to keep yourself looking and feeling young. And even if you don't believe the things we're going to go over today, the power of theta brainwave states to release stress and keep you feeling rejuvenated has power in its own. So if all you do is go into a really deep, comfortable trance today, not yet, but in a moment, if that's all you do, you're going to get the benefits from it. Now, on top of that, we're going to give you some suggestions because I believe the mind creates and directs stem cells. And in hypnosis, we can control things that we don't normally have control over, right? We can control our heart rate, our body temperature, things like that. We can move energy to different parts of our body. And so why not in hypnosis? Why can't we just command our stem cells to rejuvenate us and to keep us young? There's a book called Counterclockwise by Ellen Langer, and she talks about, I think she's Harvard based, but she got a group of basically like, don't quote me on this, get the book, but she's got a group of 90-year-old men, and she took them to this retreat center. And at this retreat center, she created an environment that looked and felt like 1950s. And so she had posters on the wall with would have been their favorite athletes. And the show on TV was the Johnny Carson show or whatever show was on at the time. And these old men who arrived at the center with walkers and wheelchairs and needing a lot of help were then emerged into an environment where it looked and felt like what they experienced in their 50s and 60s. And she didn't baby them at all. In fact, they were faced with more stressors than their normal daily life. They had to do the dishes, and they started to play these active games, and these men were starting to get younger as they stayed at this retreat center. They had the hallucination of being in an environment and a belief of the environment from 50 years ago. And she measured all these biometric markers and even finger length. After the time period, these men were taller. Many of them had lost their canes. They were carrying their own bags. They were playing touch football. Their finger length increased from just the environment and the belief. So why not you? Freddie and I have a friend, Sandra Grace, who we've talked about a few times, and she told me this story. And this is kind of what kicked me off. Is she went to a hypnosis convention. I don't remember which one it was, years ago. And she met this guy, and she thought he looked like he was in his early 40s. And she was talking to him and had spent some time with him. And she found out he was in like his mid or late 70s. And she was absolutely blown away by the condition of his skin, by his energy, by the way he carried himself. That's a 30-year difference. And so she was like, I have to ask you, how in the hell are you doing this? This is, some people look a few years younger, but you look way dramatically younger. And he said, I just have this simple affirmation that I tell myself. And he said, you guys ready for it? He leaned in and he said, every day, all of my cells renew and rejuvenate. Every day, all of my cells renew and rejuvenate. You're just like, okay, that's good, whatever. But it's the process of speaking to yourself like that every single day, reminding. And I imagine I'm speaking to every cell in my body. When I go into trance or I'm meditating, I'm putting a phrase in like that every day. And mine is, all of my cells regenerate and restore, so I look and feel like I'm 24. So it's a little, we've got a little rhyme there. It's easy to remember. And I'll go into hypnosis, and I do self-hypnosis regularly. I'm sure many of you do, or some of you are still learning that process. But every time I do it, I'll just repeat that phrase a few times. I'll imagine as if I'm speaking to every cell in my body. And I will imagine I'm commanding stem cells to regenerate, renew, and restore. And Bar says, I do look 24. Thank you. And I'll go over some more stuff about how, like some more of my process in a little bit. But I think Freddy is going to go into his rejuvenation protocol, which I haven't done. So I'm excited for, and I'm going to participate with all of you. Freddie, why don't you run us through what you got?
Okay, well, the idea behind what I've developed or created, if you like, you probably heard him speak of this guy before. There's a guy in England. He used to be on TV a lot. I don't know I haven't seen him for a while. His name's Professor Robert Winston. So he was asked all kinds of questions about why we are like we are. And one of the things he said, but someone asked him the question, why do we age? If every cell in our body dies and rejuvenates or regenerates within 6 months, apparently there's not any part of your body that's more than 6 or 9 months old. When we look around and you see dust in your house, they're dead cells. And so if that's the case, if every cell dies and regenerates, why do we get older? Why do we change? Why do we look different? Why do we age? And he said this, and it kind of made sense to me. And it's what my protocol is based on. You're going to experience it later. He said that every cell is a copy of the cell that just died. And he said, imagine taking a high definition photograph of yourself and putting it in a photocopier, and you copy that photograph. that copy, you'd have really be hard push to tell which was the copy and which was the photograph. But he said, if you take the copy and then you copy the copy and you keep doing that, so you're copying the copy, each new copy, you copy that one. Each time there'll be a minute difference. And over thousands of copies, in the end, you wouldn't be able to recognize yourself on that piece of paper, because each time you copy the copy, there's a change. And he said it's the same with our cells. The cells are just, they die, and then the next cell is a copy of that cell. So my thinking, you're going to see this. As we know, we have muscle memory. If you've done something throughout your life, I know we've got Elizabeth here, she's a ballet dancer. And I'm sure that, you know, it won't matter if she's 50, 60. If she's one day she says, I'm going to go and do this pirouette or whatever it is, I'm not really good at dancing, whatever it is, I'm sure that that muscle memory will kick in and she'll find herself able to do it, because our muscles store those memories of things we've learned to do. So in the same way, I believe that our cells have a memory. So when we do this, we're going to go to a space where you can choose. It'd be interesting to see next week, won't it? I don't recognize any of you, but you can choose where you're going to rejuvenate back to. I'd like to think you're a bit sensible about it. You know, you don't want to be looking younger than your grandchildren. That would be ridiculous. But, you know, so, look, to rejuvenate back to a certain age. And then we're going to ask your mind to communicate with those cells and ask those cells to, instead of copying the copy of the cell that's just died, look at the blueprint from that age, because somewhere in your mind, there's a blueprint of what your cellular makeup was at every age. And then instead of doing that, each time a cell dies, copy that cell, that cellular makeup instead. It might sound crazy, but then our minds are incredible. And like I say, when we talk about healing, when we talk about pain control, we're not going to give you any pills or potions. This is purely language and your imagination. But we know how powerful our language is. The world is made of words. If you think about it, everything is words. And so if we change those words, then we can change our life, can't we? And we know this. As Nicholas says, you know, every time he does meditation, he says, he wants those cells to, copy those cells from when he was 24. And I know he wears a lot of makeup, but he's looking pretty good for 58. So, it must be working. So, we're going to do this today, but, without promising anything. The worst thing that can happen is you're going to have a great experience of hypnosis. But the best thing that can happen is that you suddenly find that you're feeling different. I know, some of you will know Laurie Hammond. Most of you will know Laurie Hammond. She's probably I'd like to say the best female hypnotherapist, the most incredible, wonderful person anyway. And just on that subject of Laurie, I've been reading Marina Costine. I've got her Audible book. Marina Costine, if you don't know who she is, another great therapist and change worker in the United States. She had this terrible parachute accident where she had 52 fractures to her body, and 42 of those fractures to her face. But anyway, she's written a book, the most incredible book called 52 Pieces. And Laurie Hammond is narrating that book on Audible. And if you haven't got it yet, go out and get it. It's the best thing you're ever going to buy. I promise you. I'm not, I listen to a lot of books, but that is really worth doing. But anyway, Laurie Hammond ran this protocol that I'm going to run with you tonight with her group. And it was a woman who'd had a physical, I don't know, it was a disease or some problem she'd had for 2 years. But the age that she rejuvenated to was before the time she got that illness. And after Laurie ran this protocol with her, that changed. And that sounds pretty crazy, doesn't it? But, my thinking on this is what if? And for your mind, it only needs a what if. What if that's possible? What if that was to happen? It just needs a clear direction. Your unconscious mind, it has a very small remit. It wants you to be well and it wants you to be happy. It will do pretty much everything to make that happen for you. But it does need a clear direction. And it has to be stated in the positive. So by saying what you absolutely want and just putting it out there, I want my body to rejuvenate back to blah, blah, blah. I want it to make those changes at a cellular level. I'm going to guide you through this. I'm going to feed those thoughts to you. And because you're going to be in that state of hypnosis where you have access to all your inner powers and strengths, your unconscious mind will soak that up. And there's no reason why you can't change your physical being. As I think Nick was saying in a post earlier, you cut your finger. You don't have to sit there for 2 days saying, I want my finger to heal, I want my finger to heal. The moment you injure yourself, your brain does everything. It knows exactly what to do to make that healing take place. You already have that automatic healing ability. We just have to let go of the limitations we have and see where it takes us. And I think someone said on a post today about tonight, they said, it's not about looks. It's not about, and I'm saying it's not about looks. We all want to look as good as we can look. I don't care who you are. We want to look as good as we can look, but it's not about that. It's being as well as we can for as long as. That's the thing, isn't it? If we're going to live to 90, then we want to be as well as we can be. And knowing that you're already the most incredible creation, knowing you're already a whole being, you don't need to be anyone else, but just how we can use our minds to create within us our best physical self. So that's what we're up to tonight. That's the kind of theory behind what we're going to be doing. Nick's got his own protocol, which he's going to run with you first. And once you're already dazed and you're already in that state, I'm going to come along and send you even deeper into a space of beautiful oblivion, all right? Where you're going to make these changes at a molecular, cellular, neurological level. Okay, so that's what's happening. Back over to you, Nick.
All right, great. So we're going to do a quick process, but first, this anti-aging thing we could talk about for weeks, but there's a few bullet points that I want to hint on. So what if aging, the idea of aging, is only mass hypnosis perpetuated on people? I'm not saying it is or isn't. What if, but what if we only age because we believe we're supposed to age? So sit with that thought for a moment. And this isn't about resisting aging at all. There's no resistant energy, because what we resist persists. So there's no like, oh, I don't want to age, I feel afraid of aging, because that's going to age you. You all know that, right? It's just focusing on what you do want. And so that's what this process is going to be. And aging, I had Gary Brecka on my podcast. Many of you are probably familiar with him. He kind of became famous since I think it was me that did it. But he was on my podcast and he's pretty well known now. And he talks about when people age, we give them less stressors, right? We say, oh, grandma's got to have a blanket and a coat. We don't want her to get cold. We don't want her to carry things. And the right amount of stress is what keeps us young. Even the idea that stress is what kills us, stress is what ages us. What if even that is a belief that's harming us? Because the right amount of stress actually keeps us young. Does this make sense? When we're exposing ourselves to heat and cold and the right amount of stressors, we actually stay younger. So that'd be a whole other like biohacking protocol in itself. But I just want to put some ideas in your mind. And one more before we start also is when people have children late in life, they stay younger longer and they live longer. There's science around this. So think about, if you're 70 and you have a child, you mentally, will act like you're in your 30s. Like you'll get on the floor, you'll play with your kids, you'll put yourself through stressors that you wouldn't as a 70-year-old, and you'll be more playful and you'll be more lighthearted with that baby if you're, emotionally healthy, and you'll stay younger longer. You'll be more vital. So this is a thing. So this is the power of the mind to keep us young. All right, I think that's it. So this is really what we're going to do here right now is really about feeling young, feeling a certain age, imagining, right? We talk every week about the power of imagination, imagining what it's like. What do people tell you? How do you feel inside your body to be that certain age? So I want you to think right now, what age would you like to feel? Just consider that. I think Chrissy knows. She had a big smile. All right. So we're going to do a little hypnosis process, and we're going to tune you in to feel a certain age and move through life feeling that age and seeing how people respond to you and just what it feels like. And we're going to tell ourselves how to do that. Everybody on board? Any questions before we start? All right. Awesome. So get comfortable, get situated. Whatever you do, don't go into a deep trance just yet. Why don't you get situated first? Notice your breath. Notice your mind is already calming down as you put your feet on the floor. You uncross your arms and legs. Put your hands face down on your lap. As your breath allows your eyes to close, relaxing all of the muscles around your eyes, your forehead, even relaxing all of the hairs on your head. And imagine those eyes being so heavy, so relaxed, and so comfortable that you just don't want them to lift. You don't want to lift them. And imagine trying to lift those eyelids and noticing what happens instead. And allow the level of relaxation around those eyelids to move through your entire body, your entire being, healing, rejuvenating, connecting to those powerful, unconscious resources, getting activated inside of you now. You find yourself in a South American jungle, surrounded by beautiful, lush trees, and a group of us traveling through the jungle to find a lost city, ancient ruins. And as we travel on this adventure, seeing beautiful crystal blue waterfalls, mountains off in the distance, parrots and parakeets flying through the canopy. And up ahead, someone yells that they've found something. And as you walk up, you see a beautiful ancient pyramid with vines and trees growing out from it. But you see the stones perfectly carved, perfectly preserved, as you stand to take in this giant ancient pyramid. And you look up to the top of the pyramid and you see an old fountain being fed by a magical spring. Could this be the fountain of youth? And you begin to climb the stairs to the pyramid, working your way up to this fountain. You hear the trickling of the water in this ancient and powerful, long lost fountain from a magical civilization thousands of years ago. And as you climb up the pyramid, you wonder, how does this work? How does this fountain of youth work? And you get this knowing that when you set an intention for your body to look and feel a certain age, the fountain of youth will make that happen. Because it is your intention and belief that enables this fountain of youth. And as you climb up, you look down into the fountain and you see from this reflective pool your face, but younger. Revitalized, rejuvenated at exactly the age that you intended and that you believe yourself to look and feel like. And in a moment, you're going to find your canteen down by your side. You're going to scoop it into this fountain and you're going to drink the cool, blue, magical waters blessed by the ancient shamans, holding the power of youth. And so you continue to hold that intention of your age. And in a moment, you're going to scoop your canteen in there, and you're going to feel that water flowing through your body, communicating that intention to every single cell. And you're going to feel the changes taking place. You're going to feel rejuvenated and restored. Your joints will loosen up. Your muscles will become stronger, more vibrant. Blood will flow through your system easily, taking nutrients to all of your cells. And take that canteen and scoop it up, this magical water. And in a moment, I'll count from 3 to 1, and you can drink the whole canteen down and feel it moving through your system, revitalizing and energizing you. In 3, anticipating that feeling. 2, feel younger than you've felt in years. And 1, drinking it down, feeling that cool liquid moving down your throat, through your stomach, being absorbed in your small intestines, taken into your bloodstream, feeling those rejuvenating and magical waters moving through every cell in your body now. And you feel yourself getting younger, returning to that age that you had intended. And what does it feel like to feel that age now? As your body, your cells remember exactly what it felt like when you are that age. And you let that message, that information lock into every cell. That feeling exactly what it was like at that age. And notice how good it feels. And as you tune into the feeling, the frequency of that age, just like a mirage, that mystical pyramid starts to fade and you find yourself going through your normal daily life. And you notice how people respond to you. My goodness, you look 10, 15, 20 years younger. What are you doing? What's your secret? And notice all your friends and your family commenting about how youthful and vital you look, how vibrant and alive. And notice how you feel moving through the world now at this new age. How cool is this? How much fun is this? What can you do now that you weren't doing before? What do you feel now? And imagine looking in the mirror. You may be fully clothed, you may be naked, whatever you want. And just see yourself, see your body, see your face. Young, vibrant, and feel good about it. Knowing that at any time, you can just simply ask your cells to renew and regenerate. Every day, all of your cells renew and rejuvenate. Every day, all of your cells renew and rejuvenate. Because your unconscious mind has that power and that ability to perpetually restore and rejuvenate you. In a moment, I'll snap my fingers. But from this day forward, anytime someone talks about how difficult it is to get older and how they hate aging and how it's hell getting older, you'll laugh because you'll know I am eternally young. I am vibrant and youthful. And you will see their false beliefs about aging. And you will know that you have inside of you the hypnotic fountain of youth. In a moment, I'll snap my fingers. You'll come back into the room feeling restored, regenerated, confident, and vibrant, ready to go back into another deep trance with Freddy. 1, locking in the cellular memory of that age. 2, feeling your cells vibrate at the frequency of that age 3 times more intense for a life of youthfulness and aliveness. And 5, eyes open, feeling alive and feeling great. It's like people are changing before my eyes here, Freddy. Kesha's head was bouncing there a little bit. All right, before I hand you over to Freddy, who's feeling good? Who enjoyed that?
It's good.
Good. Any feedback, any questions? Anybody want to share?
I think I'm off to get some new photos for my passport or my driving license.
Beautiful. Beautiful. They're going to have to card you. They're going to need, can I see some identification, ma'am? Are you old enough to be doing this?
Right.
Bar said she did not want to come back. Good.
Good.
So that fountain of youth is there anytime. Just imagine drinking from the waters of it. Feel it flowing through every cell in your body. And pretty soon, when someone asks how old you are, you're going to, I have this experience. I go, how old am I? My first response is 24. And then I'm like, oh, well, technically I was born 37 years ago. I kind of start to hallucinate the boundaries of reality. And I'm okay with that. All right. Anyway, Freddy, I'm excited to go through your process.
Okay, well, I find for me, it's a really good thing. You can, because in our heads, we all feel a certain age. I don't think we ever change in our head. When they say actual age, I think that's a really good kind of thing, because you're not going to feel it, are you? Unfortunately, I don't often act my age, in which case I look pretty ridiculous. But I found what really helps for me is just hiding all the mirrors, because then you can keep that belief going. I've got before I moved to where I am now, I lived right on a beach, and I used to take my little dog for a 3-mile walk along the beach. And there were steps coming back up onto the promenade and then across the road to my house. I'll get to the top of those steps and I think, what's going on here? I'm breathing a bit heavy. Now, what's going on? I must be ill. And then I walk into my house and there was a mirror right in the hall. And I'd look in the mirror and go, yeah, that's why. You're an old git. That's why you're puffing. So I think it's quite a good idea. We're going to run this thing, hide all your mirrors, and then you can keep that belief going that you look 28 and or whatever age you want to rejuvenate back to. But there's we've got some people here and lots of people know me, but it's not a thing to be afraid of, aging. It's going to happen to all of us, and we can look on it a different way. And the same, I was talking today about failure and how we should look at failure as our ally, something to work towards, something to be unafraid of. Because it's in that point of failure where we actually grow. And I think when you talk about age, it's a privilege. And it's a privilege not everyone gets. And so, we can turn this on its head. When Nick was running that thing, I was thinking 28. Then I realized that's 2 years younger than my granddaughter, which would be a little bit ridiculous because my oldest granddaughter's 30 now. And so, you know, it would be nice. And it's nice to feel like that. And it's nice to we can keep that youthful kind of presence and energy and spirit. And then, but it's, you know, we've got to also, it's like with everything we do when we could do the hypnosis, your brain will do everything it needs to make those changes for you at a physical level. But we also, at a conscious level, have to play our part. It's no point in thinking, oh, I want to look younger, and then not doing the things we need to do. And those things are eating properly, exercising, keeping our brain working, learning something new every year, you know, learn a language, keep your brain working, all of those things that we can consciously do to help that process along and keep ourselves as young as we can be. But we can also, as Nick was saying there, we can use our brain and our mind to make those changes at a molecular, cellular level. At some point, we'll talk in this series, we'll talk about quantum healing. And that's based on the premise that every cell in our body exists as an individual cell. And there are different ideas. Some say 35 trillion and some say 70 trillion cells in our body. I mean, Guy's here, he probably knows more than I do. He studies these kind of things, I think. But there's 70 trillion cells in our body. But in each of those cells, how many, Guy?
No, I haven't counted them.
Oh, really? I thought that's what you were doing. I hadn't seen you for a few weeks. I thought that's what you were doing. Right. So, within each of those cells, there's enough information to clone you within each of those cells. And all that makes us what we are, hair color, eye color, skin color, is what makes you the unique individual that you are on a planet of 8 billion people, because there is no one else like you. You are totally unique. And the only thing that makes you unique is a unique communication between those cells. And sometimes through stress, through trauma, through emotion, through genetics, there's a breakdown in that communication. And when there's a breakdown in that communication, we get a dis-ease in our body. And so when we run quantum healing, when we do that session for you all, we're going to get into that. So if we can get those cells working perfectly for you, and we can, then things change at a physical level. And so when we do this work with you tonight, and I take you on another trip, and who was here for the dream architectural therapy, where we went and found the answers to the questions we've been asking ourselves? Yeah, I'm sure. Just so you all forget. Let's say I should stop giving you a suggestion for amnesia at the end of each session. The thing is, Nick and I run the same session every week. You just don't know it, because after each session, we give you amnesia for the session, and you think it's brand new each time. So when we run this dream architectural therapy, it's pretty much the same thing. We're going to find a place where we find that plan with the cellular makeup of your body at the age you want to feel again. Okay? So you can all, like Philippa, you're going to have to get a new passport photograph done. Right. So are there any questions about this? Anyone thinking that doesn't make any sense to me? That's ridiculous, or yeah, that sounds good. Anything, any questions at all? Put your mic on, put your hand up. No? Okay. It's just a load of hypno junkies. You can't wait to be hypnotized again. That's what it is.
I think you've suggested amnesia just in that sentence, and they're already forgetting their questions. Easy to forget, isn't it, Freddie?
Okay. It is. Yeah. What'd you say? What? Okay. Right. Are we all ready to go on this little trip with me? And along the way, I want you to, we're going to let go of all of if you've got any left after all these weeks of working with us, every limitation you might have, every negative thought that was placed on you, it never belonged to you in the first place. And let's get into this beautiful space together. You are going to find a space to feel into that feeling, because you know it's my favorite thing, that feeling of unconditional self-love. So we can use the power of that unconditional self-love to help you heal, help you rejuvenate, okay? But also along the way, we're going to find that feeling of total self-worth and an understanding that you are, even before this process, you are already the most incredible creation. And you are the most beautiful creation. And I mean that about all of you, Chris, Kesh, Badass, and you, Nick. You're already the most beautiful creation. I want you to understand that. And you don't need to be anything else, but to feel good, to feel as young as we can feel, mentally, physically. That's what we're after here tonight. And all you have to do is absolutely nothing. You can listen to me if you want, but I don't mean this rudely. I'm truly not interested in your conscious mind. Your unconscious mind, that instinctive, intuitive part of your being that's running that automatic healing ability, that's monitoring your heartbeat and your blood pressure and your body temperature, that's scanning the environment to keep you safe. That part of you will continue to hear and understand and respond to those things I might say, so that you can make the change you absolutely want. Okay? So enjoy. Are you all ready for this? Okay? Look at Andrew. She can't wait to get going. Look. All right, excellent. Okay. Right, get yourselves comfortable. Make sure you're in a safe place. Okay. And when you're ready to do this, when you're ready to make these changes at a molecular, cellular, neurological level, I want you to take a breath in, that beautiful, fresh, life-giving oxygen. Fill your lungs with it. And as you breathe out, allow your eyes to close. Only as quickly as you are ready to make these changes at a molecular, cellular, neurological level. And just for a moment, focus on those tiny muscles around your eyes and allow your eyes to relax completely. Get a sense of that happening automatically. Every word I say relaxes those muscles more and more. And I'm going to say some words. And I want you to repeat these words to yourself silently and aim these words at yourself. Want this for yourself. And even if at first you don't experience it, you will. So as I say these next words, I want you to repeat them to yourself and just aim them at yourself. And I'm going to take you into a space of total bliss. I am completely calm and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My right arm is heavy and relaxed. My right arm is heavy and relaxed. My right arm is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My left arm is heavy and relaxed. My left arm is heavy and relaxed. My left arm is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My right leg is heavy and relaxed. My right leg is heavy and relaxed. My right leg is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My left leg is heavy and relaxed. My left leg is heavy and relaxed. My left leg is heavy and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. My mind and body are completely calm and relaxed. And now as you drift deeper and deeper, my voice, my words are going to drift with you to become a part of your experience now. Every word I say is going to take you deeper and deeper into the most profound state of trance. Less and less aware of yourself as a physical being, but totally aware of yourself as a mind. And that mind drifts without boundaries, without borders, without limits. Just when you think you've reached that ultimate space of profound hypnosis and trance, my voice, my words will take you 10 times deeper. Get a sense of that happening. Imagine there's nothing you can do about that. The deeper you go, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the deeper you'll go. Dropping down through space and time. Everything I say now is your reality. Every suggestion I give you, your mind and body will act upon at a molecular, cellular, neurological level. It's now your reality. You have a conscious mind and an unconscious mind. That unconscious mind, that instinctive, intuitive part of your being that's monitoring your heartbeat, your blood pressure, your body temperature, that's scanning the environment, keeping you safe, can continue to hear, to understand, respond to those things I might say without the need for you to do anything at all. It's so much easier for the conscious mind simply to relax and enjoy that letting go. That's right. Letting go even of the effort it takes to make the effort that it might take. To tell the exact position of arms, legs, or the entire body now that seems to drift through time and space. That wonderful, free-floating place of effortless relaxation, letting go. Allowing events to occur in their own time, in their own way, as you drift as a mind. And that mind drifts without boundaries, without borders, without limits. Get a sense of yourself out there, living your life the way you want to live it. Feeling great. Waking up in the morning energized. Going about your day with a new energy, a new stamina, a new way of thinking, free of every limiting negative belief. And notice the way you move and the way you breathe that spark in your life, that inner confidence and freedom, energy. Notice the way you move and the way you breathe. Remember a time in your life when you knew just how incredible you are. Step into that future self. Feel into it. Get a sense of it now. How incredible are you? And ask the question, how much fun is it to feel great, to be free of every doubt? How much fun can you make it? How important is it for you? Get a sense of that now. Feel into it, because now you know how good you're going to feel. Everything about your nature, your mind and body is inclined toward making it happen. And your unconscious mind can allow those changes to occur at a molecular, cellular, neurological level, while the conscious mind drifts off someplace else entirely now. That's right. In your own time, in your own way. And just for a while, you'll see what I say you can see, and you'll feel what I say you can feel. You'll hear what I say you can hear. Believe what I say you believe as you go even deeper into hypnosis. And I can wonder whether you're aware that you've drifted deeply into trance. And just for a moment, we are standing at the top of a flight of steps, 5 safe steps that lead down into the most beautiful garden. One of those gardens that you see in those stately homes, an old walled garden. You can see that beautiful manicured lawn stretching out in front of you, perfectly cut hedges and bushes, the flowers. Get a sense of the colors and the perfumes filling your senses. And as I count down from 5, we're going to take those steps together. And each step will take you deeper and deeper into that beautiful space where everything becomes possible. 5, going deeper, deeper down now. 4, 3, 2, 1. And now we're in that garden. Get a sense of that place of peace. No one for miles around. And there's nothing for you to do but to be. And understanding just how incredible you are. As we walk across the lawn, you can feel the softness of the grass under your feet. And you can see it now, that old oak bench on the pathway. As we make our way over to that bench and we sit on that bench and we just look across that garden at the flowers, hear the birds, the sounds in that garden, nature. And you look up into that beautiful blue sky and you close your eyes and you go into the most beautiful sleep. And in that sleep, you go into a dream. And in the dream, we are walking through one of those fields of gold that Sting sings about in his song. Wheat and barley, you can smell the perfume, feel the softness of those plants against your skin. And we're walking through that field of gold and you can see a breeze blowing across the top of those plants like a golden wave on the ocean. And we stop for a moment just to be. Just to feel in that moment, that feeling of peace. Just for a while, nobody wants anything. No one expects anything. There's nothing for you to do but to be in that moment and enjoy that beautiful space. And now we continue to walk through that field, and it opens onto a beautiful wide pathway that leads down into a valley. And there are wild flowers as far as the eye can see. The colors filling your senses, the perfumes of those flowers filling your senses, lifting you up. The most incredible feeling of freedom and joy. And as you walk down that pathway, each step takes you deeper, deeper, deeper down into that beautiful space. You can see it now. There's an old oak tree beside the pathway with its branches overhanging that pathway, hundreds of years old. And as we walk beneath the branches, you can feel the coolness of the shade, the light shining between the leaves like diamonds. And we stop for a moment, and you can think about the people that have sheltered there, lovers that have met there, friends that have met there, people who have sheltered under those branches for hundreds of years. And you can feel that energy of that love and that friendship as we stand there. And as we continue down that pathway back out into the sunlight, and you feel the warmth of the sun on your face. And you can see it now. There at the bottom of that valley is a river running to the sea. And now we're on that riverbank. And as we sit there on that riverbank, you can see an old rowing boat tied to the riverbank. It's been left there, forgotten about, abandoned. There's dried leaves in the bottom of the boat. There's a number on the side of that boat. It's one of those boats that you see in the summer in the parks. You can just about make that number out. It's faded, but you can make that number out. And as you see that boat, you notice on your back is a rucksack. You haven't felt it before, but now you can feel the weight of it. And in that rucksack is every negative, limiting belief that has ever been placed on you throughout your life. So subtly that you haven't even noticed the weight of it until now. Every angry word, every embarrassing moment, every mistake that you think you've made is in that rucksack. And as you feel the weight of it, you can see me standing in front of you, and you can feel me unstrapping that bag and lifting it off your back. You can see my arms and my legs straining under the weight of it. And watch as I carry that bag over to that boat. And I throw that bag into the boat, and you can see the boat going lower in the water under the weight of that bag. Every piece of rubbish that was placed on you throughout your life is in that bag. Every angry word, every frustration, every negative limiting belief, all the hurt, pain, and sadness that was placed on you throughout your life is in that boat. And you feel that lightness of being. Your shoulders are free. And you watch as I undo that rope and I kick that boat out into the river, and the current catches that boat and starts to move it down that river. And you can see it getting smaller and smaller, the number now too far away to see. And watch as that boat disappears around a bend in that river and disappears out of sight. And you lay back on that riverbank with a feeling of freedom and peace. And you can picture that tiny boat with that bag way out on the ocean. And in your mind's eye, watch as a wave washes over that boat and takes it thousands and thousands of feet below into the darkness. And in your mind's eye, you can picture that boat hitting the seabed and that bag spilling out, and thousands of sea creatures scurrying around, taking all the hurt, pain, sadness, every negative limiting belief, every doubt, and burying it at the bottom of the ocean, never to affect you again. And as you look up into that blue sky and you close your eyes, you go into a sleep. And in that sleep, you go into a dream. And in that dream, we are walking into the most beautiful light, the most incredible, all-encompassing light. And as we step into that light, you feel that feeling of love. You can think about the people you love, people who love you. And you feel that wonderful thing of love filling you up. And an unconditional self-love, knowing it's okay to love yourself, to want for yourself what you want for the people you love. And as your body and mind is flooded with that feeling, you notice that every remnant of every doubt is gone from your mind, because it cannot coexist in your body and mind with that thing of love. And as we walk through that light, you can see it now. There's a door, like the door to a bank vault, a massive steel door with that big dial on the front. And there's a keypad beside that door. And you punch 3 numbers that come into your mind. You punch them into that keypad and the light goes green. And we spin that dial on the front of that door and we're pulling that door open. And we step into that bank vault. And there on the wall are some safety deposit boxes. And each one of those safety deposit boxes has got a number on it. And each number relates to a year of your life. There's a number on each of those safety deposit boxes, and each number relates to a year of your life. And as you look at that wall, you're going to make a decision about the year that you want your body to rejuvenate back to. Go over to that safety deposit box with that number on it and open the door and take out the canister that's in that safety deposit box. Take it to the table that's there in the center of that bank vault. Place it on the table and open the lid. And there is a photograph of you at that age, when you felt great, the age you'd like to feel again, the way you'd like your body to feel again, your energy to be again. And you can see that photograph, a clear photograph of you at that age. And I want you to step into that photograph and feel into it once again. Get a sense of what it feels like. Remember how that felt when you knew just how incredible you are. Feel into it. Get a sense of what it feels like once again. Now step out of the photograph. And underneath that photograph is a rolled up plan. And you open that rolled up paper and you lay it out on that table, and there is a plan of the cellular makeup of your body at that age, a blueprint of the cellular makeup of your body at that age. And you are memorizing it at an unconscious level, a deep unconscious level. And I'd like your unconscious mind to stop being lazy and just copying the cell that just died. And from today, whenever a cell dies in your body, it will be replaced by the cellular makeup that's on that blueprint. From today, when a cell dies in your body, your unconscious mind is going to recreate the cellular makeup of that cell at that age that's in that blueprint. And get a sense of that happening now. It may be a low vibration going through your body, the most incredible experience as every cell regenerates, reorganizes, reconnects, recommunicates to make those changes take place. Feel it now. Get a sense of that happening. Imagine it's happening. There is nothing you can do about that. Feel that energy coming back into your body. Feel that belief coming back into your body, that confidence. Get a sense of it now, that strength. Get a sense of that happening. Imagine it's happening. There's nothing you can do about that. And now that your unconscious mind knows exactly how you want that cell to be the next time it regenerates. You roll that blueprint back up. You put it back in a canister. You take a look at that photograph and notice the difference in that photograph already. The way your skin looks, the way your hair looks, the way your body looks, the way you think. That feeling, freedom. Put the photograph back on top of that blueprint. Close the lid. Take the canister, put it back in that safety deposit box and close the door. And now we're walking back out of that bank vault. Feel the weight of that door as we close that door behind us and spin that dial on the front, and that keypad goes red. Now that blueprint is stored deep in your unconscious mind at a cellular, molecular, neurological level. And feel those changes taking place in your body as we step back into that light, and you feel that thing of love once again flooding through your body and mind. The most intense, incredible feeling of unconditional self-love. Feel your heart expanding with that feeling of love. How incredible are you? Because you are love, and you are loved, and you are loving. You are the most incredible, beautiful creation. And the essence of who you are is pure energy, light, and love. That's who you are. Feel into that now. And as we stand there in that light and you feel that feeling, you realize you're in a dream that you're having on that riverbank. And as you realize you're in that dream, you're waking up on that riverbank. And you watch that river running by with the leaves and twigs carried along by the current. And you remember that boat now buried at the bottom of the ocean. And with it, every limitation, every negative limiting belief about what you can achieve with your mind and body. And now we're walking back up that pathway. And feel the energy, that lightness of step. That feeling of stamina, that joy and happiness in your heart and mind, and that feeling of love. And you can see the oak tree now beside that path. And as we walk beneath the branches once again, and you feel the shade, and you see that light shining between those leaves like diamonds, and you feel that feeling of connectiveness with everything and everyone, a part of and apart from everything in the universe. Get a sense of that connectedness now. How incredible are you? As we walk back out into the sunlight, feel the sun on your back and that feeling of freedom, that lightness of being. And you can see it now, that field of gold. And as we walk back into that field of gold and you smell the perfume of those plants and you feel that feeling of freedom, we stop once again and just be for a moment. That feeling of peace, that feeling of connectedness with everything, with nature, part of and apart from everything in the cosmos. And as we stand here in that space, you realize you're in a dream that you're having in an old walled garden. And as you realize that, we are waking up on that bench. And you can see the flowers and that beautiful lawn and the perfectly cut hedges. And you let those perfumes of those flowers fill your senses. And the colors fill your mind. And you can see the 5 safe steps that led down into that garden. And we're walking back over to those steps. Feel the softness of the grass under your feet. And now we're at the bottom of those steps. And I'm going to count from 1 to 5, and we're going to run up those steps with an energy you haven't felt for years. A new belief, a new understanding of just how incredible you are and how loved you are. Because you are love, and you are loved, and you are loving. And the essence of your being is pure energy, light, and love. That's who you are. So get ready. As I count from 1 to 5, we're going to run up those steps with our new energy. And a total new understanding just how incredible you are. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're at the top of those steps, feeling absolutely incredible. Feel that beautiful oxygen in your lungs. Make that decision to look after yourself, take care of yourself, be kind to yourself. As you stand at the top of those steps, you realize you're actually in the most profound, deep state of hypnosis, listening to my voice. And as you become aware that you're in that beautiful trance state, I'm going to count from 1 to 10. Every suggestion I've given you, your mind and body will act upon at a molecular, cellular, neurological level. Is now your reality. Imagine that's happened. There's nothing you can do about it. Your body is changing. You may become aware of those sensations now. The most wonderful feeling in your body and mind. On 8, your eyes will open. You are going to feel incredible because you are incredible. And on 10, this wonderful feeling of energy, peace, and love is going to grow stronger day by day. As those changes continue to take place, I don't know, will it be a minute from now or an hour from now, maybe 5 years from now, when you suddenly realize that those changes are taking place right now and there's nothing you can do about it. Just an understanding of just how incredible you are. So get ready. As I count to 10, on 8, your eyes will open and you'll feel that lightness of being. All of that weight that you were carrying for all those years on your back is now buried at the bottom of the ocean, never to affect you again. A lightness of being you may have never experienced before. And on 10, that wonderful feeling of freedom, that new energy, that new spark that you may have lost for a while is going to grow stronger day by day. 1, being absolutely wonderful. 2, to create the body, the health and happiness you want, and know that it's okay to want that for yourself. 3, a feeling of freedom from every limiting belief that was ever placed on you. Feel that lightness of being now. 4, feel the force of that energy and love flooding through your body and mind. 5, feeling incredibly alive now. 6, 7, 8, eyes opening, feeling absolutely incredible. 9, 10. Excellent. Look how young you all look already. It's amazing. That's right. That's right, Nicola. Yeah. Excellent. I hope you enjoyed the experience, enjoyed the trip. Be kind to yourselves. Look after yourselves. Take care of yourselves. You all know what to do. Yeah, we're going to be talking over these next couple of weeks about finding your authentic self, knowing that you're already the most incredible being. And then we're going to talk about creating the body health and happiness you want. And we're going to give you some suggestions on that. You know, and as Nick was saying earlier, it's the aggressive pursuit of comfort that kills us early.
Not aggressive.
The aggressive pursuit of comfort. to chasing that moment of comfort, to sit, to drive, to be warm, to do those things, to stress our bodies. Our bones don't get strong unless we're walking on them and we're not using them. Our muscles do not grow unless we rip them and we make, we work them. And our brain doesn't grow unless we keep finding things to stretch ourselves. And nothing grows in a comfort zone except complacency. Only you know how you want to feel. Only you know how badly you want that. But we have all the information we need now. We have never had so much information on how to stay well. And I'm greedy about it. I'm seriously greedy about it because I love this. I want to travel. I want to see Nick create the life that he wants. The perfect, we've got plans. Well, he's got plans and I'm just following along. And I want to see that for him. I really want that for him. As I said, I've got 5 grandchildren. The youngest is 21, the oldest is 30. I want to see my great-grandchildren when they're 30. To do that, I'm going to have to be 100 and something. So, what do you want? How bad do you want it? And I love this life. And I know you do. That's why you're here. I love this. Let's get greedy about it. And just say, why? I'm willing to do this. Some of you heard the 5 questions that I asked. And we mentioned Sandra Grace earlier. What has to happen for you to love yourself enough? To treat yourself to the body you want and the health you want? What has to happen for you to love yourself enough? If you're not living that life now, if not, why not? Ask yourself those questions. My 3 questions are this: what do you absolutely want? Because now you know you can change at a molecular level if you want to. What do you want? How do you want to look? How do you want to feel? The next question is this: what do you need to do to make that happen? And that might be going for a walk. It might be changing your diet. You know what you need to do. And most of us know those 2 things: what we want and what we need to do to make it happen. But the 3rd question I'm going to ask you right now is the big one. What are you willing to do? What are you willing to do? As Nick knows, I've just started doing these cold plunges. And I've started doing, these fasting, which I've never done in my life. And I only started, and I'm 71, so I've only just started doing this stuff. And because I'm greedy about it. I didn't know about it. I wish I'd known about it 20 years ago. Because when you fast for more than 3 days, you start to regenerate stem cells, as Nick was saying earlier. After 24 hours, your body goes into, I think it's called autophagy or something like that, where your body starts to get rid of all the cells that aren't any good in your body. It has to. I have beehives, some of you might know. And during the winter, to survive the winter, they have to be really efficient. And any of those bees that aren't functioning or working properly are kicked out of that hive and die. Most of the drones, which is very sad for the male population, they're not needed, so most of them are killed off over the winter. And it's the same with our bodies. When it comes to crisis and what we're doing when we starve ourselves for 3 or 4 days, our body goes into survival mode, and it's going to get rid of any of the cells in our body that are not any good for us, so it can function properly. So that happens. And then after 3 days of fasting, your stem cells start to renew and start to replenish. So there's all those things going on. And it's not difficult to do. And the cold plunge does the same thing. There are things, what are you willing to do? And most of you might say, I'm not getting a cold bath in the morning. No way. Which is fine. It's a question of what you're willing to do. Are you willing to do some exercise? we can sit and watch the Olympics and wish we could run like Usain Bolt. And most of us do that, or we're eating a bag of crisps and think, oh, I'd love to have a body like that. Pass me the crisps, pass me another bit of cheese. You know, we have to say what we want, but we're all capable of being much better than we are. And you now know with hypnosis how you can tap into that power. Only you know. Mandy's still in that beautiful space. I don't know where she's down by the river, or she's still in a bank vault, or she's in the garden. I'm not sure, but she's well gone. I think we can all switch our mics on for a moment. On the count of three, we're just going to shout Mandy. So we see if we can get Mandy back in the land of the living. Ready? Don't laugh, Teresa. It's not funny. Right? Switch your mic. Switch your mic on. Switch your mics on. Ready? On the count of three.
Mandy.
One,
Mandy.
two,
Mandy.
Mandy.
Oh, well, welcome back, Mandy. We're glad to have you back. Beautiful. We weren't sure whether we left you by the river or in that field of gold, but somewhere you were left along the way. But okay. Right, look, thanks for coming and joining us again tonight. I hope you've enjoyed it. Be nice to yourself, be kind to yourself. And know it's okay to love yourself and treat yourself with the same love you treat the people you work with and the people that what you want for others. You know, we might get we might come back many times. I'm living like I'm not like this might just be the only one. So I'm going to make the most of this life and I'm going to be greedy about it. Make the most of it. And, you know, it's not big things we need to change. Drink a bit more water, breathe a bit differently, get in touch with nature. It's not hard to do, but you have to treat yourself to that time. It's so easy to get caught up and another week's gone and another year's gone, another 10 years are gone. We have to start now and see where you want to go. And it doesn't matter, you know, whether you're like me, you're 72, or, you know, whether you're like Philippa and you're 22. But, you know, whatever it is, whatever age you're at, see, that's how well it's worked, Philippa. See? So wherever you're at, there's never a bad time to start. Let's go for it and let's see what we can do. And hopefully, you know, we can take other people along on that trip with us. Okay, I'll say goodbye. I'll hand back over to Nick if you've got any other words to say before we go. But it's been great seeing you all.
No, hopefully that helped and you guys are all going to feel youthful and energized and vitalized in the next coming weeks. And it's only going to get stronger over time. So I'm looking forward. I imagine hearing from all of you all the time. I'm imagining, wow, that rejuvenation process you did with us. I feel and look younger. People tell me I look younger. I imagine hearing that from all of you. And because my mind is powerful, I know I'm manifesting that for all of us. So one more reminder, we got the self-hypnosis programs kicking off in 3 weeks. If you want to do a deep dive, it's going to be a small group with just me and Freddy. We're going to dive into your specific subconscious blueprint. We're going to dive into crafting the commands and the beliefs that you want to move forward and move through the world at a different level. So you're going to get some exposure to us and some coaching, direct coaching from us, and a WhatsApp support group where we have a system and we're gonna feed off of each other and the energy and share that. So if you're interested in that, you can send me a message, or, you know, I have a landing page. I think many of you already know about that. So let me know if that's something that interests you. And other than that, next week, we are going to do the authentic self protocol. So I believe that we have at our core, and I think Freddy shares the same ideas, is that at our core, our essence is this frequency, this vibration, and this light. And what happens over time, we're born into that pure state, unconditioned consciousness. And over time, we learn things from our parents. We learn things from being let down. We learn that we have to do certain things or be a certain way to get love. And we put a mask on and we kind of bury that. And we think and it becomes unconscious processes. And we think we have to achieve in order for us to feel that joy. But the joy and the love and that light is the core of who you are. There's nothing you have to do. In fact, you have to do less. And so what we're going to do is we're going to remove all of those masks, all of those conditioned responses, and we're going to find that vibration. We're going to train ourselves to move through the world as that state. Does this make sense?
Yeah.
So that's what we're going to do next week. Y'all are going to feel amazing. And between now and then, you're just going to get younger and younger. I'm not even going to recognize some of you next week. I can feel it. So
It's be a load of diapers sitting in chairs around a screen.
the Benjamin Button protocol is what we should. I saw someone say that in the comments. That's what we should have called it.
Now I'm going to be coming to you live from Dublin next week. Kesh is going to be, are you, Kesh? Yeah, we might even pair up next week, be in the same place, Kesh. And you know, and if you can get to Dublin, it's a conference on there. Come and see me. But look out, you know, Nick and I have got some plans for doing these wonderful retreats, trainings around the world. Start looking down the back of your settee for those coins you've been leaving there. You know, speak to whoever can inherit some money off, and find a way. Come to Mexico with us or wherever we're going to be, and have a week with us.
Let me plant this.
Anyway.
Let me plant this in their mind, Freddie. So we're going to do a series of small group retreats with hypnosis and all kinds of reprogramming stuff and adventure. And so this is going to be our regular thing. So I'm building some processes to get there now. In the meantime, I want all of you to think about how much extra money you would like to have to travel on. And so set an intention for your subconscious mind to build a process, to build a stream of income, to acquire that money in some way so that you can travel and have adventures with us. You can use it for whatever you want. This is a process you should be doing anyway, but specifically to go travel the world with us. So say if I need an extra $5,000, just imagine having that, setting that intention in your unconscious mind and seeing and noticing how your subconscious mind will manifest that for you in surprising ways.
Yeah. And whatever you do, try not to think how good it would be to spend a week with me and Nick.
They're all laughing already. They're already feeling good about it, aren't they?
And somewhere really exotic. Yeah, try not to think how good that's going to feel. Or you can think about laying by a pool in Spain somewhere, you know, with loads of kids jumping all over you. Try not to think how good it would be to be with me and Nick in a beautiful retreat somewhere, changing your mind and having a great time. But whatever you do, try not to think about that. Anyway, we'll leave you with that. Have a beautiful weekend when it comes round. Love you all, and
Thanks.
Stay happy, be well. All right, take care.
Thanks.
Much love,
Thank you,
everybody.
Freddie. Thank you, Nick.
I'll see your
Thank you.
authentic self
you.
next week.
Thanks,
much.
guys.
Thank you, Nick.
Thanks,
Thank you
guys.
so much.
See you in Dublin, Freddie.
Thank you.